Welcome to the Haunted Console. I'm Kyle, bringing you my Dungeon World deck. My buddy is, of course, Brave Drum. Let's get rolling. For initiative. For my size 3, I run 1 Brave of the Sun Gao. He has 6,000 power, 3 critical, 7k defense. He has a call cost of pay 3 gauge and put the top card of your deck into the soul. When this card link attacks with your weapon, you put the top card of your deck into the gauge and you gain 1 life. He also has Soul Guard. Starting out the size 2s, my buddy Brave Drum. He has 5,000 power, 3 critical, 2,000 defense. His call cost is pay 1 gauge, put the top card of your deck into his soul. His ability is when he attacks an opponent's monster in the center, you play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. If you win for the turn, he gains penetrate. He also has Soul Guard. Next up is Craftsman Baku. He's got 4,000 power, 2 critical, 3,000 defense. When he link attacks with another adventurer on your board, you put the top card of your deck into the gauge. Okay, next up is Bladewing Phoenix. He's got 5k power, 2 crit, and 1k defense. He's got a call cost of pay 1 gauge, and he also has double attack. Finishing off the size 2s is Magical Fortress or Sir Klein's. He has 4k power, 2 critical, 5k defense. Once per turn, you may put an adventurer and a dungeon enemy from your drop zone onto the bottom of your deck. If you do, put the top card of your deck into the gauge and you draw a card. Alright, starting off our size 1 lineup, we have Legendary Brave Tasuku. He's got 5k power, 2 critical, and 5k defense. He has a call cost of pay 2 gauge, and his ability is whenever he link attacks with another adventurer, for this turn, one of the cards in the link attack and this card get penetrate. You do, however, have to put this card into your drop zone at the end of your turn. Alright, next up is Gummy Slime. He's got 2k power, 2 critical, 3k defense. His ability is your opponent's monsters on the field can't move or return to the hand. Alright, next up is Dragonblade Wheeling Shilavana. It has 2k power, 1 critical, 2k defense. If you've got a dungeon enemy on your field, this card gets critical plus 2. If you've got another adventurer on your field, this card gains penetrate. Alright, next up we've got Missile Magician Adric. He's got 4k power, 1 critical, 2k defense. When this card link attacks with another adventurer, you deal 1 damage directly to your opponent. Alright, finishing up the size 1s, we've got Dancing Magician Tetsuya. He's got 2k power, 1 critical, 2k defense. His ability is whenever he link attacks with another adventurer, choose a card in the link attack, and for this turn, give that card double attack. You may only use this ability once per turn. And alright, finishing up the final monster of the deck, we have Fate Skeleton. He's got 3k power, 1 critical, 3k defense. Alright, next up is Brave Equipment Glory Seeker. It's got 5k power, 3 critical, and equip cost of discarding a card from your hand. If your life total would become 0, you put this card into the drop zone, you take the top card of your deck and discard it. If it's a spell, your life total becomes 3. Alright, next up we've got our Shield Divine Protection of Shalsana. It's got a cast cost of pay 1 gauge, you nullify the attack of your opponent, gain a life. Alright, next up is my favorite card, Rolling Stone. It's got a cast cost of pay 2 gauge, put the soul of both monsters in the center into the drop zone, and then destroy both monsters. Alright, next up is Dangerous Fuse. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, reveal one to your opponent, shuffle them face down, your opponent picks one. If it's the card you revealed, put both of those cards into your hand. If it's not, they both go to the gauge. You may only cast 1 Dangerous Fuse per turn. Alright, next up is Mission Card Form a Party. It's a set spell. If another card with mission in its card name would be placed on your field, gain 1 life, search your deck for an adventurer, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and this card is put into the drop zone. Alright, next up is Mission Card Rest at Nazaro Hot Springs. It's also a set spell, cast cost of pay 1 gauge. When your adventurer is destroyed by an attack, put up to 2 adventurer from your drop zone into your hand, and you put this card into the drop zone. Alright, next up we have Continue. Cast cost is pay 1 gauge. Call a size 2 or less adventure and a size 2 or less dungeon enemy from your drop zone by paying their call cost. Alright, next up we have Pillar of Fire. Cast cost is pay 1 gauge. It is a counter spell. Its effect is you destroy a monster on your opponent's field with 6,000 or less defense. Alright, last but not least I run the Impact Dead End Crush. It requires your opponent to be at 3 or less life. You have to have an adventurer monster on your field and you have to have a weapon equipped. It deals 3 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be nullified, and the damage cannot be reduced. Alright, everybody, that wraps up my Dungeon World deck profile. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate the support. And y'all have a spooky week now. We'll see you next time.